Sometimes it's your own family who stabs you in the back. If you don't believe us, watch these 7 lottery winners become millionaires and keep it a secret from everyone they love. Number 7. The divorce secret. Let's start with Denise Rossi, who thought she had life figured out until the day she became a millionaire. The crazy thing is, she decided her husband didn't need to know about her big win. Denise won $1.3 million in the California lottery back in 1996. But instead of celebrating with her family, she made one crazy decision. Just 11 days after hitting the jackpot, she filed for divorce. That's right, not 11 weeks, not months. In less than 2 weeks after becoming rich, she decided to ditch her husband just so she could keep all the money. Her husband, Thomas Rossi, was completely blindsided. He thought they were doing fine. There were no warning signs for him. Then, out of nowhere, she walked out pretending she just needed a change. Denise went the extra mile to hide her win. She opened a secret P.O. box to receive her lottery checks, and she told the state lottery office to keep her win confidential. For 2 years, she got those checks secretly and guilt-free. That peace didn't last long. One day, Thomas got a letter meant for her. It was from a company that helps lottery winners manage lump sum payments. That's when he realized he had been living in a lie. He took her to court, and when the truth came out, the judge wasn't amused. Denise had violated California's asset disclosure laws during the divorce. Her punishment was that she had to give her husband every single dollar of her winnings. Well, Denise's story ended in disaster. The next winner actually managed to outsmart almost everyone, including her own family. Number 6. Jane Doe. The winner from New Hampshire never wanted fame, attention, or drama. She just wanted to cash her $560 million Powerball ticket and disappear quietly. But it wasn't that simple. When she realized that she had the winning ticket in 2018, she did something no one had ever done before. She went to court to hide her name from the world. She didn't want her family, friends, or even distant cousins showing up with so-called emergencies that suddenly needed money. The law in New Hampshire required lottery winners to reveal their identity. But this woman didn't back down. She hired lawyers and sued the state, arguing that revealing her name could put her safety and privacy at risk. She even said that she wanted to live her life normally by going shopping, traveling, and visiting relatives. She wanted to do all that without being seen as a walking ATM. The case dragged on for weeks. Everyone wanted to know who this mystery millionaire was. Reporters camped outside the lottery office, speculating about her. Family members probably had no idea she was the one they were all talking about. In the end, the court sided with her. She was allowed to stay completely anonymous by claiming the money under a trust called the Good Karma Family Trust. She collected her winnings quietly and vanished from public view. Till today, her name has never been revealed. But you have to understand that she was not greedy, she just wanted peace. Because when money this big comes in, your family can turn into a crowd faster than you can blink. And this next man from China learned that lesson the hard way. Number 5. Anonymous Chinese husband. In 2023, a man from Nanning, Guangxi, China, became an overnight millionaire after winning 10 million yuan. That's around 1.5 million US dollars. But instead of celebrating with his wife, he put on his lucky costume, collected the prize, and went home like nothing happened. He actually showed up at the lottery office wearing a bright yellow cartoon costume to hide his identity from everyone, including his own family. The photos went viral, but no one could tell who he was. He didn't tell his wife, his kids, or anyone close to him. For months, he pretended life was normal. But behind the scenes, he was quietly transferring money to his sister and ex-wife, trying to hide his new fortune forever. It's because his marriage wasn't doing great. He was planning to file for divorce and didn't want his wife to get half of the winnings. So he lied about everything. But when his wife eventually found out, she took him straight to court. Chinese law sees lottery winnings as joint property if you're married, and the judge agreed. The wife got her share, and the man's secret life came crashing down. He said in court that he only hid it because he didn't want to share the money. The internet roasted him for it. Some called him heartless. Others called him stupid for thinking he could hide $1 million win forever. Still, you have to admit, showing up in a mascot costume to collect your money while pretending to be broke at home is next-level sneaky. But while this man's greed destroyed his family, the next winner from South Dakota pulled off a completely different kind of secrecy. Number 4. The clever winner. This is Neil Wanless, a cowboy from Mission, South Dakota, who went from living on a rundown ranch to becoming one of the youngest Powerball winners in history. In 2009, Neil won a massive $232 million jackpot. But unlike most winners, he didn't go shouting from the rooftops or even tell his relatives right away. Neil lived a modest life before the win. He collected scrap metal to help pay bills and was months behind on his property taxes. When he won, he could have easily become the loud, flashy type, but he didn't. Instead, he quietly met with financial planners, bought back his family ranch, and started paying off debts, all while keeping his new status as a multimillionaire a secret. For months, hardly anyone knew the truth. Locals noticed small changes, like his truck looked newer, his clothes cleaner, but nothing extreme. He never moved to a mansion or bought private jets. He just fixed up the land he already loved. When reporters finally caught up with him, Neil gave one short interview, saying he was grateful and planned to use the money to rebuild his life. After that, he disappeared from the spotlight completely. He didn't want to hide the money out of greed or fear. He hid it because he didn't want his relationships to change. But this wasn't the case with the next winner. Number 3. The hateful ex. This is the story of a man who thought the worst was behind him after his divorce. 10 long years in a marriage that drained him, both financially and emotionally. When it finally ended, his ex-wife walked away with the car, half the savings, and enough alimony to keep him chained to the past. He was left in a tiny apartment. But then, out of nowhere, his luck turned around. One random morning, he checked his ticket like he had done 100 times before. Except this time, the numbers matched. He had won the lottery. It wasn't a billion-dollar jackpot, but it was more than enough to wipe out his debts, breathe again, and finally live without fear of bills. The clever thing he did was that he told no one. Not his friends, not his family, and definitely not his ex-wife. He played it cool. He still went to work. He still paid his alimony like always. But inside, he was smiling. For the first time, life had finally thrown him a break. But peace never lasts when bitterness is involved. His ex somehow found out about his win. No one knows how. Maybe a rumor, maybe a friend slipped, but she went straight to her lawyer. She claimed the ticket was purchased while they were still legally married. She wanted her share, even though she had already taken almost everything else. The case became a full-blown war. She said the money was rightfully hers. He argued it was his own luck and his own cash. She even told the court that her emotional suffering during their marriage deserved compensation. The man was shocked. He thought she couldn't surprise him anymore, but he was wrong. When the ruling finally came, it was all his. The court sided with him completely. But by then, the victory felt hollow. The stress had eaten up the joy of winning. He packed up quietly, sold his apartment, and left town without saying a word. He started a small business somewhere far away, never looked back, and refused to do interviews. While he hid his money to escape a toxic marriage, the next winner tried to hide his from everyone, but one careless person ruined everything. Number 2. The Tattletale. A man from Maine hit one of the biggest jackpots in U.S. history. He won over $1 billion. You would think that kind of money would bring celebration, but no. It brought him so much stress and tore his life apart. At first, he tried to stay completely anonymous. He didn't want his family or anyone else to know how rich he had become. The only person he told was the mother of his child. But even she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. That's how secretive he was. But then, his wife blabbed. Months later, he filed a lawsuit against his ex-partner, the same woman who had signed the NDA. He claimed she had broken the agreement by telling his father about the win. That single leak shattered everything. His father didn't stay silent. He went public, accusing his son of betrayal. The dad said his son had promised him a house, a rebuilt business, and even $1 million trust fund, but never did any of that. The media went crazy. Suddenly, the story of a quiet winner turned into a family feud for the ages. The father told reporters he didn't even recognize his son anymore, that the money had turned him cold, arrogant, and unreachable. And to make things worse, his ex-partner fired back in court, accusing him of trying to control everyone with his newfound wealth. The court filings turned into a soap opera. each side threw accusations at the other. There were claims of manipulation, greed, and broken promises. Reporters camped outside courthouses, desperate for new details. Some people blamed the father for being greedy. Others said the winner had lost all sense of humanity. By then, his billion-dollar secret had exploded. He just wanted to protect his privacy, but it was gone forever. And while his life fell apart because of one secret spilled, this next winner hit hers for an entirely different reason. Because she didn't trust her family to care about her at all. Number 1. The Black Sheep. She was used to being invisible. The youngest in the family, always the one who got the smallest slice of everything, whether it was attention, affection, or even birthday gifts. When her siblings needed something, everyone rushed to help. When she needed something, they said she was being dramatic. So when she bought a random lottery ticket one Friday night, she didn't even expect to win. It was more of a why not moment. But when the numbers appeared on her screen and matched perfectly, her heart almost stopped. She had just won $2 million. And she made one decision right there that she wasn't telling anyone. Not her mom, not her brother, not her sister. She collected the prize quietly, met with a financial advisor, and started fixing her life. She cleared her debt, bought a small home, and even started a small business she had dreamed of for years. Life finally felt calm and stress-free. Then, somehow, her family found out about her win. Suddenly, her mom wanted weekly visits. Her sister wanted to reconnect. Her brother sent messages like they should hang out. When she refused to reconnect, they accused her of being selfish, said she owed them because they were family. She tried explaining that she had worked hard her whole life without their help, but no one listened. So she cut them off without any big fight. She moved to another city and built a new life from scratch. For once, she was no longer the black sheep that her family pretended not to see. So, what would you do if you hit the jackpot? Would you tell your family or keep it a secret forever? Honestly, that's none of our business. But if you're curious about what you could do with all that money, watch our next video to see 15 absolutely crazy things you can buy if you win the Powerball.